Have you ever wished for a place where fear can't find you? A place where sickness, stress, and spiritual attacks can't reach you? Psalm 91 speaks of that place. It's called the secret place of the Most High. And today, you're about to step into it. This isn't just a psalm. It's a spiritual shelter, a divine shield, a lifeline in the chaos. Stay with me, and I'll show you the hidden power inside these verses. And by the end of this video, you won't just hear Psalm 91. You'll live it, declare it, and walk in its protection. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Hidden Realm. What is the secret place? He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91, verse 1. This verse opens the door to something most people miss. It's more than just poetic language. It's a spiritual key, a hidden invitation, a pathway to peace in a world filled with noise and fear. But what exactly is this secret place? It's not a location you can find on a map. It's not a room, a church, or a mountain far away. The secret place isn't something you enter with your feet. It's something you enter with your heart. This is a place in God where anxiety can't reach you, where the voices of fear fall silent, where spiritual attacks lose their power. It's where your soul finds refuge and your spirit finds rest. This secret place is real, and Psalm 91 tells us how to find it. It starts with a single word: dwell. The verse doesn't say, "He who visits the secret place." It says, "He who dwells." To dwell means to live there, to remain, to settle in and refuse to leave. The original Hebrew word is yashab, which means to sit down, to stay, to inhabit. So this isn't about saying a quick prayer before bed. It's about living your life from a place of deep, daily connection with God. It's about making His presence your permanent address. The world around us is loud. It's filled with fear, division, distraction, and noise. But the secret place is quiet, still, safe. It's the place where your identity is restored, where you don't have to perform, where God reminds you who you really are. And here's what makes this even more powerful. Only those who choose to dwell there experience its protection. Not everyone will. Not everyone wants to slow down. Not everyone wants to surrender. But the promise isn't for everyone. It's for the one who chooses to dwell. And what's the result? He shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Now think about that. To be under someone's shadow, you have to be close. This means that the secret place isn't just hidden. It's intimate. It's personal. It's not about religion. It's about relationship. It's not about ceremony. It's about closeness. The shadow of the Almighty is a picture of God's protection. It means you are never exposed, never alone, never forgotten. He is covering you, shielding you, surrounding you. And when you're that close to God, the enemy can't reach you. So how do you enter the secret place? You start by making a decision to put God first, a decision to build your life around His presence, a decision to stop running to the world for peace and start running to the one who actually gives it. You enter the secret place when you open His Word and let it speak to you. You enter it when you pray from a real place, not a scripted one. You enter it when you worship, even when life feels heavy. You enter it when you believe His promises more than your fears. This is the hidden realm. This is the place beyond fear, beyond chaos, beyond the reach of the enemy. And the truth is, you were never meant to just visit. You were meant to dwell. As we continue, you're going to see why this secret place isn't just a nice idea. It's a shield, a fortress, a spiritual stronghold in a dangerous world. Chapter 2. Divine protection in a dangerous world. Psalm 91 doesn't just speak peace, it declares protection. Not symbolic, not poetic, real, tangible, supernatural protection in a world full of danger. Listen to this. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. Psalm 91 verse 3. This isn't wishful thinking. This is a sure promise. Surely, not maybe, not sometimes, not if you're lucky. God is making a bold claim. He will deliver you, but what is he delivering you from? It starts with the snare of the fowler. That's not language we hear every day, but in biblical times, a fowler was someone who trapped birds, quietly, skillfully, with hidden snares. It's a metaphor for the enemy's strategies, crafty, deceptive, invisible. The fowler sets spiritual traps, temptation, fear, addiction, comparison, anxiety. They're silent, they're subtle, but God sees them all. And his word says he'll deliver you before the trap can close. Then it says, from the perilous pestilence. That's disease, that's sickness, that's anything meant to steal your health or your peace. God promises to cover you, even when the world is overwhelmed by plagues and viruses and fear. And it doesn't stop there. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. Psalm 91 verse 5. That covers all sides of the clock. Night terrors, daytime attacks, spiritual warfare when you're sleeping, emotional warfare when you're awake. You don't have to fear any of it, because here's the truth. What surrounds you doesn't control you when you are covered by God. What the world calls chaos, the secret place calls covered. What others panic about, you pray through because you know who holds your future. And Psalm 91 keeps going. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Psalm 91 verse 7. Think about that image. Imagine destruction all around, left, right, front, behind. But somehow you are untouched, not because you're lucky, because you're covered. This is divine protection, not just for your body, but for your mind, your heart, your family, your future. It doesn't mean life will be easy. It doesn't mean you'll never face storms, but it does mean this. No storm can sink a person who is hidden in God. When Psalm 91 says he will cover you with his feathers, it paints the picture of a mother bird shielding her young. It's personal, protective, fierce. That's how God fights for you. He doesn't just send angels, he gets involved himself. This chapter of Psalm 91 isn't a fairy tale. It's a declaration of what God is still doing today. In a world full of breaking news, threats, spiritual attacks, and rising fear, God's word hasn't changed. He still delivers. He still protects. He still hides his children in the shadow of his wings. So don't let the news define your mood. Don't let culture control your peace. You are not unprotected. You are not exposed. You are not alone. You are shielded by the Most High. And when that truth settles into your heart, fear has no choice but to flee. Chapter 3. The power of God's presence over fear. Psalm 91 isn't only about protection from physical danger, it's also about a deep, lasting peace that comes from resting in God's presence, a peace that drives out fear. Look at what it says. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. Psalm 91 verse 5. Fear is one of the greatest tools the enemy uses to paralyze us. It whispers lies. It distorts truth. It makes mountains out of molehills. But Psalm 91 gives us a powerful answer: God's presence. The secret place is a refuge from fear because it's where God's presence dwells. When you dwell in Him, fear loses its grip. Think about the times you felt anxious or worried. What were you focusing on? Was it the problem, the news, or your own thoughts? Now imagine shifting your focus to God, His power, His promises, His faithfulness. Fear flees in the presence of God. Why? Because God's presence brings clarity. It reminds you who you really are, His beloved child. It reminds you of His power that is greater than any problem. Psalm 91 repeats this truth. You shall not be afraid. It's a command, a promise, and an invitation all at once. God doesn't just want to protect you from harm. He wants to protect your heart and mind. He wants to calm your restless thoughts. He wants to steady your shaking hands. He wants you to know peace, even when the world is shaking. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. It doesn't rely on things going well around you. It is anchored in the unchanging presence of God. When you dwell in the secret place, you're walking daily with God. You're inviting His presence to surround you, to guard you, to speak life into your soul. And that changes everything. Fear loses its power because God's love is greater. Worry fades because His peace floods in. Doubt disappears because faith takes its place. Psalm 91 calls us into this new way of living, not driven by fear but led by faith. It's a radical choice to trust God's presence even when you don't understand your situation. But it's the choice that unlocks supernatural peace. So if you're battling fear today, know this: you are not alone. You are not forgotten. God's presence is your shield. Step into the secret place. Let His peace wash over you and watch fear lose its hold. Chapter 4. Heavenly Security, Angels on Assignment. Psalm 91 reveals something extraordinary. God doesn't leave you to face life's battles alone. Instead, He sends an army of angels to surround, guard, and protect you. This isn't just comforting imagery. It's a powerful truth that changes how you live every day. Listen closely to these words. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. They shall bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Psalm 91 verse 11 to 12. The idea of angels watching over us is not just poetic. It's a declaration of divine intervention. Angels are real spiritual beings sent by God to protect His children. When you dwell in the secret place, you are enveloped by their presence. Think about the scale of this promise. It doesn't say some angels or a few angels, but His angels. They are appointed by God Himself. Their mission? To guard you in every part of your life. Your going out and coming in, your waking moments and your rest. This means that no matter where you are or what you're facing, there is a heavenly force surrounding you. When you step outside your door, when you walk into a room, when you face challenges or uncertainty, angels are with you, standing guard. The phrase, to keep you in all your ways, is significant. It implies continual protection, not just in one moment, but in all the ways you live your life, your job, your family, your relationships. God's angels are actively watching, ready to intervene. And they shall bear you up in their hands. Imagine a protective hand catching you before you fall. That's not just a metaphor. It speaks to God's care preventing accidents, harm, and setbacks. The enemy tries to trip you, to cause you to stumble, but divine protection lifts you up. Psalm 91 reminds us that our spiritual reality is much bigger than what we see. While we may feel vulnerable, the unseen realm is alive with guardians on assignment. This truth empowers us to walk boldly, free from fear, knowing God's heavenly forces are backing us up. But there's a deeper layer here. Angels don't just protect physically, they fight spiritual battles on your behalf. When you pray, when you declare God's promises, angels move into action. They execute God's will to break chains, tear down strongholds, and bring victory. The Bible records countless stories of angels intervening in human lives, protecting, guiding, delivering. Psalm 91 confirms this isn't just history, it's your reality. You are never alone or defenseless. This promise calls for faith. It requires you to believe in what you cannot see, to trust that spiritual protection surrounds you, even when circumstances look bleak. The security that comes from knowing angels are assigned to guard you is unmatched. It frees you from anxiety and empowers you to live courageously. Imagine how your life would change if you embraced this truth fully, walking with the confidence that you are never alone, never unprotected, and always covered by divine forces. This is what Psalm 91 offers, the assurance that God's army is at your side. Let that sink in. There is a battle raging around you, but you have an army fighting for you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No darkness can overcome the light that surrounds you. God's angels watch over your every step, lifting you up, guarding you with divine power. This is heavenly security, and it is available to all who choose to dwell in the secret place. Chapter 5. Living in unshakable confidence, walking the path of faith. Psalm 91 doesn't simply promise protection and angels. It points to a life transformed by faith, a life lived in unshakable confidence because you trust in the one who holds everything together. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This is not just about hiding or escaping trouble. It's about walking boldly through it, knowing that no matter what happens, you are covered, shielded, and empowered. Confidence rooted in God's presence is unlike anything the world offers. It's not based on circumstances, personal strength, or luck. It's a supernatural confidence that comes from faith. Faith that trusts God's promises are true and that His power is at work in your life. Think about the storms you face: financial struggles, health challenges, broken relationships, spiritual attacks. These storms can shake anyone's spirit. But Psalm 91 offers something radically different, a path through those storms marked by peace and courage. Faith in God's protection frees you from the weight of anxiety and fear. It frees you to take steps forward even when the outcome is uncertain. It frees you to face challenges with a calm heart because you know who is holding your future. Walking in this confidence means you no longer live under the control of fear or doubt. Instead, you live as a child of God who is fully known, fully loved, and fully protected. This confidence also affects your actions. When you trust God's protection, you make decisions differently. You pursue your calling more boldly. You love others more freely. You forgive more easily. You stand firm where you might have once faltered. Psalm 91 describes this confidence in vivid terms. You will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. You will face life's challenges without fear, not because danger is gone, but because your faith in God is greater. This faith is a choice, a daily choice to dwell in God's presence, to declare His promises, and to trust His timing. It means feeding your spirit with His word and resisting the lies that fear tries to plant. Confidence in God also means resting in His sovereignty. You recognize that He is in control, even when things feel chaotic. You trust that His plans are good and that His power is greater than any enemy or trial. When you live this way, you become a light to others. Your peace and courage inspire those around you to seek the secret place as well. Your life becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. Psalm 91 calls you into this lifestyle. It invites you to dwell in God's presence so deeply that your confidence becomes unshakable. This is not just a promise for the future, it's a promise for today. God's protection is real. His angels are assigned. His presence is with you, and His power is working in your life. So stand firm, Walk boldly, live confidently, because you dwell in the secret place of the Most High. Your faith is your shield. Your trust is your weapon. You are not just surviving, you are thriving under God's protection. Chapter 6. The reward of those who trust, experiencing God's promise of salvation and deliverance. Psalm 91 isn't just about protection, it's also about reward. There is a powerful promise attached to those who choose to trust God completely, who choose to dwell in His secret place and live under His shadow. This promise is one of salvation and deliverance, a divine rescue that transforms your entire life. Look closely at these words from the psalm. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name. Psalm 91, verse 14. This is a clear declaration from God Himself. When you place your love and trust in Him, He promises deliverance, not just protection from external threats, but a rescue that lifts you up, a salvation that sets you apart in power and purpose. Because He has set His love upon me speaks to the heart of faith. It's not a casual relationship. It's an intentional choice to love God back, to commit your heart fully, and to build your life on His truth. This love is both the key and the catalyst for experiencing God's deliverance. I will set him on high means elevation. It means God will lift you above the chaos, above the challenges, and above the enemy's attacks. It's a promise that you will not be defeated or overwhelmed, but will rise victorious through the power of God. And why? Because He has known my name. To know God's name is to know His character, His faithfulness, His power, His mercy. It's an intimate knowledge that comes from relationship, not religion. It's knowing that God is not distant but close, not silent but speaking, not indifferent but deeply involved. This deliverance is both spiritual and practical. It means God will rescue you from situations that seem impossible. It means He will break chains, heal wounds, restore brokenness, and guide you to freedom. The psalm continues with even greater promises. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Psalm 91, verse 15. God's response is immediate. When you call on Him, He answers. When trouble comes, He does not abandon you. Instead, He stands with you, fights for you, and brings you out of darkness into light. Notice that God promises not only deliverance, but also honor. This means that the one who trusts God is lifted up in dignity and respect, their life marked by God's blessing and favor. This honor is a powerful reward for faith, a testimony to the world that God is real and faithful. Then the psalm ends with a final, powerful promise. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Psalm 91, verse 16. Long life here represents fullness, abundance in time, joy, purpose, and peace. It's a promise that those who dwell in God's secret place will experience a life rich in blessings, sustained by God's presence and power. And the greatest blessing of all is God's salvation. It's not just deliverance from danger, but eternal life, eternal peace, and eternal relationship with God. This promise is for you today. No matter what you face, no matter how dark the night or how fierce the battle, God invites you to trust Him, to set your love upon Him, to know His name and live in His presence. When you do, you step into a life filled with divine rescue, unshakable peace, and powerful blessings. This is the ultimate reward of those who dwell in the secret place. They are delivered, they are honored, they are satisfied, they are saved, no longer defined by fear or failure, but defined by God's faithfulness and love. Chapter 7. Walking boldly in God's promise, embracing your identity as God's protected child. Psalm 91 calls you not only to believe in God's protection, but to live boldly as one who is fully covered by His power and love. To walk boldly means to embrace the identity God gives you, His beloved child, shielded and secure. The psalm opens with this profound declaration: "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Psalm 91 verse 1. To dwell is not a temporary visit. It means to live there, to make God's presence your home. It means your heart, mind, and soul are anchored in Him every day. And to abide under His shadow means you are constantly covered, constantly secure, like a child protected by a loving parent. When you embrace this identity, fear loses its power. The enemy's lies about who you are no longer hold sway. You know your true self is found in God's promises, not in your failures or circumstances. This identity is powerful. It changes the way you view yourself and the world. You are not a victim of your situation. You are not defined by your past or your mistakes. You are God's protected child, walking in divine favor. Psalm 91 says God will be with you in trouble. This presence empowers you to face challenges with courage. You don't have to hide or shrink back. You can stand tall, knowing God is your shield and defender. Walking boldly means living without hesitation or fear. It means stepping into God's calling with confidence, trusting His protection, even when the path is unclear. Your life becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. People notice your peace, your strength, your unwavering hope. Your identity in God shines through every action, every word, every decision. But this boldness isn't arrogance. It's humility rooted in trust. It's knowing your strength comes from God, not yourself. It's surrendering your fears and doubts at His feet and choosing to believe His promises. Psalm 91's promise of protection is a call to live courageously, not cautiously. It invites you to move forward even when the future seems uncertain, because you are covered by the Almighty. So today, embrace who you are in God's eyes, a child loved beyond measure, a warrior protected by angels, a believer standing firm in faith. Walk boldly in this truth. Let it guide your steps, steady your heart, and empower your spirit. Because when you live in the secret place, you live as God's beloved, unshakable, victorious child. Chapter 8. The Lasting Legacy of Psalm 91. Living a life marked by God's protection and peace. Psalm 91 is not just a promise for a moment. It is a call to a lifelong journey, a legacy of protection, peace, and divine presence that shapes every day of your life. This psalm is a foundation stone, a spiritual heritage that carries you through every season. When you embrace Psalm 91, you are stepping into a tradition of faith that has stood the test of time. Generations before you have lived under this promise, finding refuge and strength in God's sheltering wings. The psalm's words resonate with eternal truth. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This verse, repeated throughout the psalm, is a constant reminder: your life is hidden in God. No matter what storms rage around you, you are secure because you have made God your refuge. This security is not passive. It calls you to active trust, to live intentionally in God's presence daily. It means beginning and ending each day with the assurance that you are covered no matter what comes. Psalm 91's legacy is peace that surpasses understanding. It is a peace that guards your heart and mind even when chaos surrounds you. It is the calm in the storm, the confidence in uncertainty. This peace empowers you to be a beacon for others. When you live under God's protection, your life shines brightly, drawing others to the hope and security you have found. Living this legacy means passing on faith to those around you, family, friends, community, sharing the secret place so they too can experience God's protection. It means living with purpose and courage, knowing your life is part of God's grand story. Psalm 91 assures us that God's promises are not empty words, but living power. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. This promise extends beyond protection. It leads to deliverance, honor, and satisfaction in life. It reminds us that a life grounded in God's presence is a life filled with blessings. As you embrace this legacy, remember that it is available to all who seek it. It invites you to dwell deeply in God's presence, trust his promises, and walk boldly in faith. Psalm 91 is more than a psalm. It is a lifestyle, a path of divine protection, peace, and victory. Make it your legacy, live it daily, and let your life be a testimony of God's unfailing love and protection. Conclusion: embrace the promise, live in victory. Psalm 91 is more than just a comforting chapter. It's a divine blueprint for living a life of peace, protection, and power. When you dwell in the secret place of the Most High, you tap into a supernatural reality where fear loses its grip and victory becomes your everyday experience. No matter the battles you face, God's promise stands firm. Angels surround you, his presence covers you, and his deliverance is sure. This is your invitation to walk boldly in faith, to embrace your identity as God's protected child, and to live with unshakable confidence. As you close this chapter today, remember that God's protection isn't just for some, it's for you. Let Psalm 91 be your shield, your refuge, and your strength. Step out into the world with courage. Stand firm in his promises, and watch as God moves powerfully on your behalf. Thank you for joining me in uncovering the secret of Psalm 91. If you've been blessed, please like, share, and subscribe. May God's peace guard your heart, and may his protection follow you every step of your journey.